Hey everybody, welcome back. As soon as I said hey everybody, this Tomo, he has like a Pavlovian response that's like, I gotta get out of the room. Am I too noisy? Or are you gonna go to sleep? You got 35 minutes to come up with a solution. On average. Hey, we won, well, so our, oh, there he goes. Goodbye. Just let him walk, because he might step on the hotkey for the recording, and then he would like to leave, and there you go. We won our last episode, but it looks like we lost. Because we played Isaac on the NLSS, and the runs were bad. 72YP NTVV. Ooh. Well, let's focus on the positive. Luck, damage, speed, very good. Rate of fire, terrible. HP is acceptable. It's the... And then our other items, like, I mean, Farting Baby, what can you say? It's not poor, necessarily, but it's not particularly strong. And Monster Manual, I don't know, we'd be looking for, where's our Monster Manual? Do we get a second Farting Baby? I don't understand, but we need rate of fire increases. For right now, everything's okay. You know, these stats are acceptable, if not altogether amazing, for our first little bit here. I will say, if we had, like, worse damage, this is like an Alt F4 run and pretend it didn't happen. But with the amount of damage we've got... Oh, and golden bombs. We got very little to worry about. And honestly, I do, and I know I said this a lot recently, feel like my Isaac confidence has really come up recently. That last one that we did on video yesterday, it was good. And it wasn't amazing, so the fact that we held it together felt like a nice little confidence booster, and I really feel like there's pretty much just no excuse to ever lose in Isaac ever again, so I'm hoping to, you know, prove that that is indeed going to be the case. I don't know about Crowheart, to be honest with you. I'm not fully convinced that it's an item that has, or a trinket that has a usefulness in our present situation. What I am going to do... I don't think I've ever tackled this room in that way. What I am gonna do is try to blow up pretty much everything that we come across. You know, golden bombs, super useful. Sorry, I keep my speech is weird. I think I slept while biting my cheek. I know that sounds... I got like a weird mark on the inside of my cheek, and then, you know, it's swollen up a little bit, so it just affects the way you speak, and then every once in a while I'm like, is it still there? And I poke it with my tongue, but that's just making it worse. Yes, that is it's a Family Guy reference. Anyway, while we have golden bombs, swoop, I am going to use these golden bombs to try to accomplish... That's exactly what I'm looking for, because if we don't, then we're no better than the beasts. Yo, look at that. A 5 rate of fire increase from a single pill. That's how you know somebody up there is watching you, but not in like the... I always feel like somebody's watching me sort of way, because that's a little creepy, right? What do you got for me? It's not really likely to be too useful, and again, I'll spare you my rant about not really liking crawl spaces, because the vast majority of the time they seem to just be basically useless, but anyway, I digress. With 3 keys, I think we should go to our shop real quickly. Pick up an item room, or sorry, to pick up some luck upgrades would be useful. What do you mean to pick up an item room? King Baby is trash. That's a trash item. I don't respect it. Is Fate's Reward normally that big? It looks like, you know, you've been working out. I can't tell. You've been working out, or you just been eating a lot and you're wearing a size smaller shirt. I can't quite figure it out. Grab this. There's a chance for a big turnaround here. First off, 13 rate of fire now leaves us in a pretty okay position. Could always be better. World card, useful for our next floor. Probably more useful than using the Ace of Spades for anything too dramatic here. I was hoping for a little Joker action. Ah, we got Guardian Angel this time. I was hoping for a little Joker action, obviously. Keep in mind, you know, we've had a very easy time of it here. Next floor, we are unlikely to get golden bombs. Less likely to get... I mean, the percentage is just low, is what I mean. So, to pick up something incredible like a range upgrade is really... It helps me out a great deal. So, I really appreciate the game hooking me up with that range upgrade. The thing is, you might think a range upgrade is bad, but actually it's like the best thing you could ever ask for, because you can stand further away from enemies, and then you can hit them and they can't hit you. So I mean, how could anything by definition possibly be nearly as good? Yes, I'm being a little sarcastic. Not mad. Range upgrade is what it is. Very, very small chance at some point in our lives it could be worth something a little extra. But a Perthrow rune is very good. This is marked, which is okay, but I'm gonna go a little deeper. 10 bombs? I don't know. What do you got for me? Little Gish. It's not bad. It's not a bad outcome from Monster Manual. It's pretty bad overall. Like, when I get Little Gish as an item, I go, it's a Little Gish. When I get Little Gish once every 3 rooms, I go, that's okay. That should tell you just about the quality of item Monster Manual is. Again, I'm not the well, I am an armchair game designer, and I'm acknowledging my inexperience in the category. I'm not trying to argue from a position of understanding what's happening, but I made a tweet a long time ago, like maybe, when did Rebirth come out? It's like 2014, so I probably made the tweet in like 2015, and I was like, man, Monster Manual feels like such a wasted item, because once every 3 rooms, it gives you a familiar. No, most of the time when you get a passive familiar, that's so good. Most of the times you get a passive familiar, you go, that's okay. Unless it's like, you know, Little Brim or something like that. And I was told, you know, from the source, they were worried that would make Monster Manual a little bit overpowered in greed mode. So, different philosophies, I suppose. Endless Nameless, it gives us a chance at getting some... Ooh, I think I don't know, Endless Nameless is like pretty decent. Not game-changing necessarily, but certainly not anything to sneeze at. Another Demon Heart. It's actually going pretty well right now. I'm happy we got those 10 extra bombs. Grab this, grab this. I think to have... generally, I'll err on the side of having a trinket provide some certainty, I suppose. And let's get a little aggro here. I got a bad habit of almost walking into those spiders trying to pick up a coin very slightly faster. I was hoping to be 2 of diamonds, it was not. I will buy PhD. PhD gives me relax. Just a... You gotta love it, because, you know, it only gives you good pills, like relax. Okay, I'm being insufferable now. I'm aware of it, let's move along. Feels like I'm walking on sunshine. I can't remember. Does this one? No, Power Pill does damage. Feels like I'm walking on sunshine. It's just invincibility, right? I believe that's correct. Yeah. Probably should not have used it. It did get the job done, though. We have 1 HP. We don't need to take that yet. Dude, I'm taking Mom's Knife. Absolutely. You know why I'm taking Mom's Knife? Completely nullifies any negative associated with our tier effect right now. And we've been, again, you know, confidence is good right now, but we've been in some situations where it hasn't been 10 out of 10. So I'm very happy to see something that could take it to the next level here. And I like Mom's Knife. I will... People, they're very proud. Myself included, I'll admit. You know, of all the sins out there, which one do you think typifies you the most? For me, it's probably gluttony. But maybe pride. I'm not very wrathful. I don't want to inflict revenge on people. You know, I don't know. It just never really appealed to me, I guess. If someone's rude to me, I'm not like, I gotta ruin their life. I'm like, man, that person's a jerk. But gluttony is up there, potentially. You know, I'm a 3 or 4 slice of pizza kind of guy when I order a pizza. It's probably like 1 to 2 more slices than is necessary, and there's not that much justification for it. I am also prideful. To some extent, at least. What are the other sins? Laziness? To some degree. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to, you know, I took a very, very slight amount of heat for talking about heaven so much in one of these Isaac episodes semi-recently. I don't want to go down that road again, mostly because we've already done it. But, the 7 deadly sins, a lot of them are just like, hey, this thing is pretty sweet, but don't do it too much. Like pride, having self-confidence is good, but too much is bad. Gluttony, well, food is delicious, but don't eat too much of it. I understand that, you know? Laziness is like, don't be afraid to rest. But if you do it too much, you know, you become slothful. Wrath, I don't know. Wrath might be one of the ones that doesn't have much of a positive analog. You might think, you know, lust doesn't have a positive analog, but that's not true. You know, that kind of stuff can be important in life as well. You shouldn't covet thy neighbor's wife. Is that, am I confusing 2 different commandments? Thou shalt not be covetous, thou shalt not love thy neighbor's wife. I'm kidding. It's been a while since I've been to Mass, okay? I've been to Massachusetts more recently than I've been to Mass. Full stop. Anyway. I think, that's my personality assessment. I don't need people in, you know, you're probably like this. You're not you as in everybody watching this, but some people watching this are probably like this. I see it because I peep the Twitter accounts of people who tweet me things. If someone tweets me and goes, hey man, nice video, I go, thank you so much. I'm not going to peep your Twitter account. It's unnecessary. You gave me a compliment. As a result, you seem like a rational, insane human being. Somebody tweets me a little bit of shade, I peep their Twitter account because I get judgmental. You're judging me, I'm going to judge you a little bit as well. Maybe there's a little wrath in there. And I see so many that are like, they have their Myers-Briggs personality type in there. I'm an INFJP, and I got a great joke for that. According to me, you're an IDGAF. That's right, I don't give a frig. But no, it's more like, you don't, maybe I'm being needlessly, old school's not the right word. I'm not sure what word I'm looking for here. I just don't understand. You don't need to tell me your personality type. I'll figure it out. I'll learn pretty quick. Like I got a good beat, I think, on pretty much everybody that I speak with on a regular basis. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm some kind of savant about it, but I think I know what makes them tick. I know how to speak to a Daniel. I know the limits with a Nicholas. I know what pushes Rob's buttons. I know what pushes Austin's buttons. I know how to get a laugh out of mouth, you know. Let me figure it out. Mostly, whenever I see someone that's like, you know, I'm an ENJP or something like that, I gotta go check the ledger. I gotta go figure out for myself, what does that mean? Please, my second secret room, it's very sick. This bit's going nowhere. I'm just saying, like, the Myers-Briggs personality, you don't need to tell me what your personality is. Like, I'll figure it out. That's my personal perspective. Mostly, if you tweet me and you're being a jerk, I already know what your personality type is. You are a TROLL, and I don't get trolled. So, sorry, but you're gonna have to take that to someone else's timeline. I'm not a chicken, you're a turkey. Yo, let's go. How's this run going? I mean, it's the classic Catacombs check-in. How's this run going? It's going extremely well. We have Mom's Knife. So, like, as of right now, as long as we don't take an abundant amount of truly ridiculously bad damage, everything looks fantastic. I also don't fully buy the Myers-Briggs person. I don't buy any personality tests, okay? And I understand there's I think the real benefit in a personality test is in figuring out what your own personality is and then gaining some more insight into what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Ooh, I don't know, maybe we won't take Cracker Jacks here. And again, please, I want to point out, I am not a, well, I'm not a rapper, as you were aware of, but I'm also not a psychologist or psychiatrist or involved in behavioral studies in any way. You know, I'm just a dude who has to fill 40 minutes of air here trying to give you my philosophy on some thoughts on life. So please take this with a grain of salt. But I've always thought that the main benefit of taking a personality test is it can illuminate some things for you to reflect on about yourself. You could be like, oh, you know, these are the when you really codify it into questions and then breakdown of how it seems like I feel about things, I can get a little bit of a better idea of where my values lie and how I should approach things. It's like taking a test about, like, you know, your intelligence. If you're taking an IQ test and your whole methodology, I don't even, whatever, start here. Your whole methodology for taking it is like, or the whole reasoning is, hey, I can use my IQ to win arguments by telling people how smart I am. That's not a good approach. If you take an IQ test and, you know, you look at where you got a bunch of questions right and a bunch of questions wrong, you'll realize, hey, this is like, you know, this is where I'm good at things, this is where I'm bad at things, this is where I, you know, could improve, I suppose. I told this story, I think, a couple times before, but I did take an IQ test of to some degree, I should say, when I was in elementary school, and I scored very well, apparently. Well enough that I had to go to a meeting once a year for the rest of my elementary school career to talk about my progress. But verbally, it was like, this kid is, he's the Gordon Ramsay of words. He's the Kid Rock of words. But they gave me like a 7-piece puzzle, and it wasn't like a jigsaw puzzle. It was like, they were triangular pieces. It was kind of like a tangram, I guess. And I was looking at it, and even as I was doing it, I was like apologizing to the person administering the test. I was like, I understand that this is probably easy, but I just, for whatever reason, I can't see it. And that's where it dragged my score down. And what I should have done as a 7-year-old is say, you know, I'm going to work on improving my spatial awareness. What I actually did was say, I'm never going to take any classes that involve any kind of shapes except for geometry. And instead, I'll just let that skill languish and atrophy. And instead, I'll focus on using exclusively my words for pretty much everything. And I don't know, did it work out? I am in a field where words are probably more important than shapes, but anyway, I digress. So I think a little, like a personality test that gives you some self-reflection is good. What I mean, again, I'm coming over the top with some heady statements for someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about. What I resent is when people are like, this is my personality type, so this is how you should talk to me. And I'm like, well, my personality type is, I'm gonna, you know, speak to you with respect, but I'm gonna treat you the same as I pretty much treat anybody else. So I'm not carrying around a rubric, and I'll be like, you know, it's a Telltale game style flowchart. This person's an INFP, so I gotta, you know, GAF and bend the knee, Jeffrey style. Oh, so you do exist. I have made it. Okay, dude, this run is completely set. This is the kind of run I needed. Get a little bit more random dialogue going. I understand, by the way, that it might make me look callous. I don't know. I think I start from a callous standpoint because I only Twitter peep the profiles of people who are being rude to me. So if you find yourself, I've deliberately constructed this straw man argument in such a way that that the other side is indefensible. Because if you're saying, NL, you should make more of an effort to accommodate, you know, other people's personality quirks. Well, maybe they shouldn't be rude to me in the first place, you know? This person I've constructed in my own argument to make myself look as positive in light as I possibly could. You ever think about that? Why are you defending this hypothetical jerk? I honestly think we're out. Like, what are we doing? We got nothing else to look for here. Life is but a freaking dream, dude. I really, like, there's so little to complain about. I'm gonna find something, okay? And the one thing that I think would take this run from its present state, and it's not a 10. This run's not a 10. Not because it's bad, but because 10s and Isaac are so good that, you know, Tammy's head, brimstone, rubber cement. You just fill the whole room. Homing tears, something like that. What we have is a strong 9. Telepills me, please. Oh, good, a range upgrade. What do we need to make this like a 9.5? Because a 10 is just like walk into the room, press space, everything dies. Or walk into the room, shoot as fast as possible, everything dies in a millisecond. To make this a 9.5 to a 9.89, we need some way to regenerate Spirit Hearts. And that's it. If we get that, we're extremely set. Gimpy would probably work. Maw of the Void would work. There's a lot of options. Serpent's Kiss could work. I don't really want that, but I will say I'm kind of tempted to maybe take one more HP, knowing there's deals with the devil afoot. Bah, we got little to worry about in that department, I suppose. I mean, even 5.5 Spirit Hearts with the Wafer leaves us in a great spot for the womb, as long as we can get the occasional Spirit Heart, which, under reasonable circumstances, we would expect would be pretty likely. We haven't lost a lot of dumb damage, so I don't feel like we've really bricked it up too much here. The ability to fly would also be an important upgrade. Honestly, like, Dry Baby is pretty okay. I'm not against it. Anyway, we'll move on. Twitter's a weird place, dude. I feel like the opposite is true for, like, a lot of content creators. And this is not me just acting like I'm superior to them, I swear to you. I feel for that. Like, without being patronizing, I feel for that, because I understand it's like, you know, opening yourself up to some kind of spotlight, no matter how small, online is going to inevitably result in some form of criticism. I think we do want this, and you know what, let's donate a little bit, because we're maybe going to go to the Hush fight, but I'd like a luck upgrade just to bank it here, or maybe they'd give us an angel deal, I don't know. An angel deal would be better for us, just because of our HP. I'm like better than ever, I think, about dealing with criticism online. You know, I try to sort the good stuff. Oh, I almost walked right on that. You know, the stuff that's maybe a little bit mean or presented poorly, but there's a nugget of truth in there, you know, a nugget of self-reflection that you can actually take and work on without taking it personal. Like, there was the, you know, an NLSS a couple of weeks ago didn't go that well. It was the one where we played Catan. It wasn't like an embarrassing show. It was just like not a very strong show. And there were some posts about it on the Northernlion subreddit. And somebody said, and it was a very rude thing to say, I'm not defending them in this situation. Ugh, it's a little risky, but I'll do it. We need this, please. Is that a double tinted rock? It is. They said, it's times like this I wish NL put the bare, or more than the bare minimum amount of work into his content. Let's go for it. I'm ready. And you know, I'm sitting here, and I'm not saying that I'm the hardest working man on the planet, but I've been working like minimum 50-hour weeks for like 5 years. And I understand you, by the way, if you're out there, you might work more than that. If you're saying that, you're missing the point. Imagine if you worked, you know, a 60-hour week and somebody said, I wish you put in more than the bare minimum of effort. What they're talking about, and what I took from it, is like, hey, I wish NL would take a little bit, oh, that was so bad, more time to do his due diligence on the things like the board games, make sure everybody on the show is up to snuff, and yada, yada, yada. So that's the nugget I took out of that, and I did take that as an actual piece of constructive criticism, despite the way that it's framed. In my younger days, is a very easy way to respond to that as a content creator online. What you would say if you wanted to get people on your side is be like, wow, I guess making 7 hours a day of YouTube content, 7 days a week, and never taking a weekend off even, except when you're, well, on vacation for a week at a time. But anyway, I digress, because that doesn't make me look as victimized. And then people go, don't listen to this guy, he's being a jerk, you do you, we love you, and blah blah. As I've grown up, I've found that kind of disingenuous, you know? You gotta remember that most of the criticism you get is from people who like you, they're just phrasing it badly. The dude did make a post, and again, you might be watching this. This is your own opportunity for self-reflection here, without being, again, patronizing. He said, NL, it's clear you're not in the best mental state right now. I hope that when you cool off, you could revisit this with a cooler head and respond to the criticisms. And I'm like, well, again, I understand. You don't realize it, but if you enjoy someone's content and, you know, watch hours of it a day to suggest that they don't even put in the bare minimum level of effort is incredibly insulting. Like, as diminutive as it is, this is essentially my life's work. So it's kind of like an enormous slap in the face. I wasn't in a compromised mental state. Your criticism was just phrased in a way that's like highly offensive and dismissive to, you know, the duties I perform on a daily basis. But anyway, I've gotten, dude, my like mood and mental state surrounding making stuff online has never been better. But I still, on Twitter, when people tweet me, I got a bad habit. I peep that Twitter profile and I find something to make fun of them for. Yeah, you might be better than me at Slay the Spire, but look at your silly haircut. And then again, that's a little bit of a... See, that's the point, is, I guess, in hindsight, that it's a little bit of a humorous criticism coming from a bald man. But anyway, I feel like if more content creators online recognize that the majority of people criticizing them are fans who don't understand how to word it. Not always, by the way, but occasionally. It didn't go that badly, actually. Bloodshot Eye is not particularly strong, but... You know, you gotta recognize, you gotta, well, maybe not gotta, I mean, things are a little different in today's day and age, I suppose, but there's a good piece of advice I'll give you, and it's not an original from me, but it's, you know, words I've tried to live by. You should usually assume that someone has a positive intent. If someone sends you something that's like straight up garbage or harassment or whatever, obviously that's a different thing altogether. But if something could be taken in a positive way or a negative way, do your best to take it in a positive way. Maybe that's help. Maybe that's unrealistic. Sometimes I take things in a negative way for sure. But I think, you know, it's better for everybody. I'm trapped. Don't you dare. We've done it. That's incredible. I don't know. I don't want to go on Inside Baseball about this again, just because I find it self-indulgent, you know? But I see other... Did I talk about this maybe in a recent episode? I think I might have. I'm going to grab this real quick, because I'm just very, very slightly worried about HP. I see, like, there's a theme of tweets that streamers sometimes make, and, you know, I've probably been guilty of it, maybe even in the recent past. But you get, like, you know, 100 tweets that are positive, and then you get one tweet where somebody's like, hey, you were looking a little down on stream today, is everything okay? And then they make, like, a thread that's like, don't assume it's okay to ask a streamer how they're doing. We're on camera 8 hours a day for your own amusement. I'm like, that was just one person being a, like crossing the line a little bit, but with good intentions. But again, I'm always cautious to talk about this stuff, not because I'm worried about blowback, but because I don't think what I'm saying is really incendiary or unreasonable at all. I'm more hesitant to talk about it because my community, most likely, when they argue with me, it's just about, like, banal garbage, like, dude, styrofoam cups go in the garbage, not in the paper part of the recycle, which is true, but anyway, it's a bad analogy. Whereas other people, you know, they might face more serious strife in their comments. So it wouldn't surprise me, at least. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I understand, I guess. I think. I mean, like, after that show, where things didn't go as well as I would have liked them, I tweeted, but what my tweet was like, hey, the show didn't go that well today, I take responsibility for it. Feeling a little bit, burned out was not really the right word, and I'm rephrasing it myself here, but feeling a little bit, like, burned out with the group dynamic right now. Maybe I'll take some time next week to do some solo streams. And then, you know, that was on Thursday night. Friday I recorded, like, 11 videos. Saturday I did a stream with Kate and recorded like 8 videos, and that put me back in a good headspace, and by Monday I was like, I was overreacting. Is Mom's Knife the right call here? I don't know. Not Mom's Knife, sorry, Tammy's Head. The damage is unprecedented. Well, it's fairly, there is a precedent. Actually, it's not that good, but it's pretty solid. Blue Candle is also pretty great. There's another enemy. Oh. I don't know. Excuse me? I don't know if it's me or what, but I feel like those kind of invisible frags have been happening more and more lately. I don't know if my ocular canals are broken or something. Yeah, I think we'll take it. Unfortunately, HP was like, it's starting to get pretty necessary. I should have looked for a second secret room as well. But, you know, we haven't taken that much terrible damage. Remember, we have not only Whore of Babylon, but also the Wafer. So we can afford to be a little more aggressive in the way that we approach that. And every penny we pick up is also 0.04 damage increase. 0.04 damage. I hate that room, dude. More power to them. They got me, but I hate that room. We have PhD as well, so we should definitely blow up the vanity out there. I don't know. I think I'd rather have Mom's Pearl than Child's Heart. I found pills, balls of steel. Huge play. So all of a sudden, by hook or by crook, PhD probably paid for itself. Oh, everything's coming up. Millhouse, please. Telepills infested. I think we kind of like a telepills. We'll crack this, go in here, telepills out. It did, I don't know if it took us closer to the boss, but it took us further from where we are, which I think is likely to be closer to the boss. And honestly, the faster we can get through this floor, the happier I'm going to be, like, as an adult in general. Because that's where I derive my happiness from now. It's no longer derived from external sources like how my Twitch community perceives me. It's derived from the pace and the efficacy from which I win an Isaac run. Maybe, maybe not. Little at column A, little at column B. It's derived from the success of the hockey team that I've chosen to support due to my regional closeness. Oh, let's go. Okay, so we're not going to fight Hush. And that reason has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that we're 18 minutes away from starting the NLSS. It's complete. That's slanderous, good sir. And I will hold you in contempt of the court for even suggesting it. I don't think we want that. You know, I want it for easier permanent Polaroid invincibility access. And guaranteed Whore of Babylon. But I will say again, HP is not set in stone to be a super positive thing right now. The actual, I wouldn't say real reason, but one of the many reasons I don't want to fight Hush here is that we have money equals power, so the more money we spend, the less powerful we become. Not necessarily like full stop, but in general, yeah. I was trying to watch the angles there and see if, you know, I played the tape forward, there'd be any chance of success pulling out there, but the golden key doesn't count as a key. You should pick up the other key as well. That was a tinted run. No, it might have been Mom's Pearl coming through in the clutch. Alright, we probably have to go for... Has anyone ever made the Photoshop? It's not a good Photoshop, by the way, but... You know, it's a video game related pun, aka the actual lowest form of humor on planet Earth. And I say that as a self-hating video game pun maker. How about Mom's Pearl? You know, the... You know, Parl? What's Parl from? I'm trying to remember. Is he from Dark Souls 3, or is that a Dark Souls 1? P-A-A-R-L. Parl. What? Parl. Dark Beast. There you go. Dark Beast Parl. Is a boss in Bloodborne! Oh, that's right. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess that probably nobody has ever made Mom's Pearl. But if you wanted to, you know, you have my permission. Just know that I get, legally speaking, I get 40% of the karma. Or the iFunny points, or the 9gag up laughs, or whatever the heck kids are using these days. You know what's funny? Like, I made a post, a tweet, I should say, because that's where I do 90% of my work, apparently, according to this episode. I was playing Rainbow Six Siege. It was like 2 expansions ago, so it was when Vigil came out. There was a picture of Vigil. Vigil has his hand up putting on a mask, but it appeared that he was putting his hand on the shoulder of the operator to his left in my game, which was Rook. And I said, Vigil is a support operator, because he's supporting him, you know? He's putting his hand on his buddy's shoulder to say, hey, that's okay, don't worry. Sometimes Fuse kills the hostage as well. That got posted around some places. It's not like it went super viral, but it got posted around. And then like 3 months later, my Twitter account got scrubbed out of it, like on the image, and it got shared around some more. And I was getting people tweeting me like, uh-oh, looks like you've got some explaining to do, NL. And I was like, what do you mean I got some explaining to do? And I realized that as soon as my attribution got taken out of the tweet, people thought that I had taken the tweet from iFunny, or taken the picture from iFunny, and then scrubbed their attribution and then tweeted it myself. It's like the old. I'm not too beaten up over it again. Lost some imaginary internet points, but I was more like, you really think that I'm the kind of Twitter account that is going around looking at memes and being like, ooh, that's a good meme. Be a shame if somebody, you know, was to completely steal it for, I don't know, Twitter followers? I don't even understand how you win out in that situation. I'm the guy who, like, when he sees a good picture on the NLSS Circle Jerk, posts like, hey, this is a good picture. Hat tip to user, you know, noodles are long bread on Reddit. Everybody else just says found on Reddit. I'm giving them that /u user attribution. I understand the value of something like that. I was more offended that there are people who watch this content and then, you know, you watch 100 hours of me playing Isaac and you assume I'm the kind of guy who would steal a meme from iFunny. Like, repost a meme from iFunny, sure, as I've established, I'm human garbage, but to steal it, oh, that's a step too far, my friends. What separates us from the animals at that point? So whenever somebody said that to me, I stalked their Twitter account and I said, nice haircut. But I didn't mean it. And I said, oh, what was your score on your IQ test you took when you were 7 years old? Got him. Everything's coming up Millhouse on this run. We're, like, Mom's Pearl ended up being, I think, doubtlessly the right choice. Even with Mom's Knife, I'm over here like, please, face me. Even with Mom's Knife, I'm over here using Sack Dagger to do a bunch of damage. We got Bomber Boy hooking us up. Very few negatives to speak of right now. Not to mention we have the Wafer in the whole scheme of things anyway. So it'd be a great chance to get Shoop-da-Woo. Never mind. It was a great chance. Didn't work out, but the chance was great. Joker? Suicide King. What are the odds that Guppy's hairball brings us back to life? Literally 0, huh? Well, this is nice. This is a very successful, easy run. I had a good time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.